So, to be rather quite frank, I did not really think that this episode of SmackDown really warranted a video, but regardless, I'm going to give it to you guys because it is the go home episode of SmackDown before WrestleMania. This is the final stretch, literally the final stretch, the final piece of build for WrestleMania. Tomorrow night is WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Saturday. And like I said, there really wasn't much of note here as far as storyline progression, as far as anything like that we don't know occurred here. We had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which was won by Royce Keys, which, I have some thoughts as far as that goes because I am not familiar with Royce Keys, Powerhouse Hobbs, whatever. I'm not familiar with the man at all. I know that they had him doing, main event matches on main event, specifically, essentially dark matches. And they debuted him last week to very little fanfare, even though it was his hometown. And debuting him before WrestleMania, like a week before WrestleMania, is such a weird move because typically these big debuts they save for after WrestleMania. So why before WrestleMania? That makes no sense to me. Like, you want to get him over, but simply, it just, to me, it's like he's been cold ever since the Royal Rumble because that should have been the moment to capitalize on whatever you wanted to have, become of this guy. Because if you introduce him at the Royal Rumble and then you don't mention him or even allude to him for the next 2 months, like, people are essentially going to forget, and that's what I think has happened here. There was a Randy Orton promo here at the beginning here that I actually did enjoy, although I kind of told myself, I said, this Randy Orton promo really means nothing when you think about it, because now the whole storyline, regardless of what Randy Orton said in this promo, is engulfed by Pat McAfee. Wherever you go and you hear about this match, Pat McAfee is the front and center piece. Like, it just shouldn't be the case, right? Randy Orton detailed here as far as, like, the relationship that he has with Cody Rhodes. He essentially wasn't going to do this to Cody. He found it so much easier to do this to Drew, but then Cody gave him, the go ahead to do this regardless, to let the voices out. Like, it was a fine promo for what Randy Orton was trying to accomplish. And again, at the end of the night, we had a Cody Rhodes CM Punk segment where both men essentially embraced each other at the end of the show in the middle of the ring, gave each other a hug. Cody mentioned to Punk how one person that would be proud of CM Punk would be Dusty Rhodes, his father, and they had a nice little embrace there at the end. So to me, I kind of read this a couple of ways. For one, this all but confirms that these two guys are probably not going to be champions following Sunday night. Heading into Monday night, they're probably not going to be champions. That's number one. Number two, I don't know if anybody else kind of felt this way. I kind of felt this way at the very least. Is this setting up potentially a heel turn, maybe by CM Punk? Because it definitely feels like maybe this might be the match. I don't know necessarily for Saudi Mania next year, but, they've been teasing this match for so long now. Ever since Punk came back to the company in 2023, they've been teasing this match. So my wrestling booker, whatever, would figure maybe this is an eventual tease for down the road. Again, who knows? But it's very weird to end your WrestleMania build with the visual of CM Punk and Cody Rhodes hugging in the middle of the ring. It's just, I don't really know what else to really mention. One last thing I wanted to mention was the WrestleMania stage. Today it was revealed, the WrestleMania stage. And again, they had a few days to come up with this stage. That's not me necessarily giving them the pass, but that's something to, I guess, consider. It's like when you compare both the stages from last year's WrestleMania to this year's WrestleMania, like, it's such a downgrade because this year's WrestleMania, I don't really know what theme they're going for this year. Like, it's almost like some apocalyptic, next world type theme, which for WrestleMania, I don't think that should be what your theme is. It should be Vegas. It should be casinos. It should be, big lights. Those are just some sort of thoughts that I had as far as that goes. Let me know what you think down below. And until tomorrow night, we'll see you for WrestleMania Night 1 Saturday.